Welcome to another week, another episode of IBG Weekly. I am Achilla, your founder and host of the show. Haven't done this in a while, guys.
Lost your touch.
Today I'm joined by Bhupati, our CTO, and Stany, our head writer. As he's there every single week. Really, just call it good old Stany.
They don't just want me, but I'm here anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're a real Toby. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and tap that bell icon to get notified every week. And yeah, seriously, comment in the section. We really like to hear from you. So just remember, IBG Weekly is now available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and some other major podcast platforms. So you can download those apps on your devices and access us anytime, anywhere. We made this show as accessible as possible, so there is no excuse. Listen to us.
Yeah.
Please.
So soon it'll available on Pornhub as well. So I'm working on it right now. So no worries about that. It has to be accessible. You can actually get some views rather than from like the usual views that we can get from YouTube. It'll be much more reach.
So quick update on the studio. We've been radio silent for a long time because we were actually taking We were taking a bit of a break from development, and we have completed a prototype tech demo of Project Little Big Warships. Of course, that prototype tech demo still is missing a few features, so it's not quite ready for reveal. Abilities and one more ship class, and we're done with the tech demo. We just need the abilities and the ship, the extra ship class, I think.
I just gotta say this because the thing is, the one that I saw actually has a lot more to offer than the one that actually you're seeing right now. And these guys are like freaking crazy at this point. Like these guys are like so much visionary, and what you're seeing right now isn't like worth it, but like we are going to show it anyway. Like we are working on this very hard right now.
We'd like to
these guys
hear from you, like what you think of what you see, because the game itself is obviously in its very early stages. These are just us figuring out what's fun for the game and what's not. And so
what's doable,
what's doable
mostly.
And every damn time I get bunked by Bhupati for some reason. Even though it's like a concept demo, I get bunked for no reason. I usually fix that. It's a bug.
I made the thing.
He keeps testing the game. He knows everything about it. Like after we all get like our asses kicked, right? He says, by the way, guys, because the guns are on the top of deck of the ship. If you go below the other guy, you constantly have like an advantage. Tell us that after we get our asses kicked.
If I lose in the next game, I'm going to consider this as a bug, okay? No offense right now. I'm going to say this. I'm just going to put that message right here. It's a bug. It's a major bug.
This game will need a lot more testing, as well as just feature updates and balancing.
It's awesome.
And all that awesome stuff.
It's crazy.
But it's coming along very nicely. Anyway, so today we got some interesting topics. Just 3 actually. We're going to keep it nice and short for you guys.
It's the default number, right? I mean, I can't actually remember the last time we did the 9th episode, and this is the 10th episode.
We had like 2 of them which were like 1 hour long, dude. Like
it's like I was literally busy with the stuff as well, and these guys was telling me like, no, you should just go and populate the page in the Facebook. You haven't told anything to our people who actually follow us. And I was like, okay, calm down. So because the page is empty because we've been busy a lot. I mean, Achille had a lot on his plate. He was actually working for his family and for IBG at the same time. It was disaster. Watching him was like painful for us, actually.
Yeah, truly depressing.
Truly depressing.
I swear to God, if you guys put that picture up of me with my beard grown out, don't do
Wink,
that.
wink.
Please don't do it to me.
Fingers crossed.
That's
Fingers
like a
crossed.
state of my
Thank you for
mental
that.
state.
Nice.
Thanks for the idea, by the way.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Just reminding it like
Thank you very much for the idea. I was actually clueless about that fact.
I just dug a hole for myself.
yeah, you walk right into it.
Well, we did it for you.
Right. So today we got 3 topics. We got Amazon Studios developing a new Lord of the Rings MMO. We got the Warframe revealed their upcoming features, and it's pretty damn great, actually. Then also Nintendo has the Switch Lite that was announced. So let's begin with Amazon Studio developing a new Lord of the Rings MMO. So what do you guys know about this this MMO? What I know from it is that it's based around a different timeline in the J.R.R. Tolkien's universe, the Silmarillion or whatever.
It's the prequel, right?
So it's like it's literally set like literally thousands of years before the events of Lord of the Rings, the movies anyway.
Lord of the Rings or Hobbit, because Hobbit is a prequel.
The movies,
and
so
Sil-
even
I mean,
Yeah.
Hobbit isn't like
Hobbit is still
that
a
far
few-
away from.
yeah, I think Silmarillion is like I
just
don't
the
know if I'm
history,
saying
right?
it correct.
Just the world
Yeah,
outlined.
the
I guess.
lore, yeah, so deep.
So it's somewhere in there, in the timeline of the Silmarillion or whatever, some thousands of years before the events of Lord of the Rings the trilogy, and so they say we'll be seeing like characters that we've never heard of or seen before, unless unless you read the Silmarillion or whatever. I can't pronounce it.
Or we
for
will
this.
see the first Dark Lord. Man, that guy is powerful.
No, to be honest, like
Isn't that like a dragon that was like the size of a continent or something?
No.
That's cool.
It was a dude, man. Like
It was a dude.
yeah.
like
dragon.
Sauron.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Is it like Sauron? I mean, to be honest, the thing that gets me hyped about this thing is that Amazon now owns the right, for the universe, like half of the rights, the rest goes to Warner Brothers, if I'm correct. I don't know. So basically, they can do whatever they want, these things, and it can open up to a whole new possibility about the universe, and it's online, it's going to be free. And recently they made a game, right? It's called New World. Have you seen the visual? The visuals are pretty darn great, and I was literally stunned to see this is a game from Amazon Studios, and it looks gorgeous, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Lord of the Rings and the vision of JR, whatever the Tolkien had. I mean, it's going to be crazy. That's all I have to say. And the last I played a Lord of the Rings online game was back in 2010. It was a pretty old game, if I'm correct. It was.
Oh, you mean like are you talking about the Middle Earth series?
No, it's just Lord of the Rings
MMO,
online.
wasn't it?
Yeah. It's a pretty
MMO.
old one. Yeah, it's like Dragon's Sack kind of thing. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's I think that it'll bring back some memories or something, because with the graphics and all, the world will look so good, and I'm expecting something like Shadow of Mordor. I don't know, maybe they are using a different engine, or Lumberyard. I'm not sure which one
Probably
they will
Lumberyard,
use.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
They like pay for a
Hey, if Star Citizen
that,
looks
no.
like that, if Star
I'd like to
Citizen
point
looks
out
that
that
good.
Lumberyard
Yeah.
is actually facing problems.
Oh,
Amazon
really? What's up?
Studio, the Amazon's game studios has recently even stopped much of the projects that they have planned to release. Which was with Lumberyard, there were a couple of games that were actually slated for release and they have been cancelled along the way, but New World hasn't been cancelled. They're still trying to get that to release, but there has been some problems on that end. So that's why I'm like, it really would be great if they could just focus and just release something from them, because Amazon's Lumberyard still hasn't released a solid game from it yet, right?
That explains the Star Citizen, actually.
And Star Citizen themselves are like, is another thing, is another studio that's using the Lumberyard engine. However, the good thing is that they're not beholden to Amazon. They're their own thing, right? They just have they just have a contract to enable them to use the Lumberyard engine and the source code, right? Yeah. So that, just because of that reason itself, they can do whatever they want. They can continue development until they themselves run themselves aground, or they successfully launch. But right now, Amazon's Lumberyard, like Amazon Game Studios haven't really launched any games using the Lumberyard engine, right? So
wait,
really need
what about New World? New World is using Lumberyard.
Yeah, but it's not released, is it? It's not a release title.
Really?
No. I think it's in it's a pre-release game or early access or whatever. You have that. They recently showed a gameplay demo where they got some game journalists, to come and try the game out. We've seen gameplay footage.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
It looks gorgeous and everything, but even the people who played it were like, this game has some gameplay issues. It does feel like, an ocean with the depth of a, puddle. It feels like that for them. So they were like, they're all wondering what other gameplay features will come online as the game fully releases. So they're still also tempering their expectations on that front. So that, like, Amazon is, well, they have a lot of work to do anyway. So
they have money, they can probably do it.
Yeah, they have money, but then again, Jeff Bezos, the CEO, right? I mean, he has a lot of other stuff he wants to do as well, right?
Yeah.
He wants to start a space race with Elon Musk.
Yeah, good for him.
Exactly. Yeah. So, he has a lot of plans. We don't know which plans gets axed.
Yeah.
Right? And it might just be, he'll be like, hey, I need money for my next rocket.
I mean, it's too bad, like
game studios. Why do we need that? We don't need that.
Yeah.
Gone.
Lumberyard is like license free, right? You can just use it however you want, and you don't have to pay anything.
I believe so. So.
I think as indie developers, we should pray that it would get picked up.
If you want to see a Lord of the Rings MMO come to light like successfully, you'd better pray to God that New World makes some kind of commercial success. Otherwise, they will be in a lot of trouble.
I agree. Totally agree.
All right, then let's move on to the next topic, which is actually a game studio that is doing very well for themselves and having no problems at all, which is Warframe. The game is actually doing really, really well, just gaining popularity amongst the gamers in general, and being
just don't know half of
free-to-play games, right? The good guy story of a free-to-play game, where everyone who plays it says, yeah, there's a grind, like in all free-to-play games, but it doesn't feel like an unfair grind.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
So this game released their upcoming updates and features that's going to be released soon. And one of the greatest things is space combat is going to be in Warframe.
Oh man,
good, right? Yeah, for the context, Achilla haven't played Warframe since 2014, if I'm correct.
Planes of Eidolon update, actually. I played Planes of Eidolon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I played it a little bit, yeah.
You didn't tell us, traitor.
I played it a little bit.
He didn't tell you. He told me.
Yeah.
Otherwise you'd be pain in the ass,
you wanna play a match? It's okay. You guys really
look, all I literally did was I played a few hours. I think the whole reason I did was a couple of Geek Club members, Sri Lanka Geek Club members were like, hey, who else plays Warframe? And I'm like, I kind of play Warframe. I'll update it. Okay. And so I came in and I got to experience the new features and stuff. It was really great, actually. The Plains of Eidolon especially was pretty good until I'm like, yeah, it's only this bit. This bit is the open world bit. Okay, maybe I'll give it a pass for a bit more longer. But yeah, this space combat stuff. It's just great to see that they're just constantly growing this game. I have some other stuff on the technical side, some really interesting stuff that you guys might want to know. But before that, I want to just know like how excited you guys are about this game and the features that they announced. Go on, Stany should be able to break it all down.
Yeah, I mean, you're like the most excited about it. Just go ahead.
Yeah, so for the part is that I've learned today, it's just about now, that in the space part, where they call it railjack, the ship doesn't actually move.
Yeah, that's actually the interesting technical part I wanted to point out as well.
And also the main part that I'm excited, rather than the space, the exploration and all that, it also has a new open world expansion where they call it as the Duviri Paradox. And it's something like Red Dead Redemption infused with Death Stranding, kind of surrealist. It has horse riding, dude. It has a kingpin system. It has a horse riding system, and the whole world is like surrealistic. I don't know. There's going to be a bit of a spoiler here. If you guys haven't been playing Warframe, I don't know what you're doing. You had to try that game at least once in your life. And in the lore, which I'm sure you both are familiar with, I'm pretty sure Boop is like kind of familiar with the lore. Lore, yeah, and. Yeah, and Duviri Paradox actually takes place like it's gonna focus on, rather than in your frames, it's gonna focus on the operator itself, and you'll be playing as this operator, and he's like grown from a child into an adult, and it's gonna be the best part about the game, rather than just playing with the frames and attack, and it's gonna offer something more than that. It's gonna offer something human to it, and I just like. It has this mystery surrounding it, what the game is about, like what that expansion is going to be about, and that's the aspect I'm literally going to waiting to see what they were going to offer. Yeah,
really interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there was a lot of mystery.
Exactly, and they have
anything. We just watch something. We know what it is.
And also, the best part about this thing is they have updated the intro sequence after 6 years since their launch.
Oh.
You remember the intro sequence, right? Where you have to choose the Warframes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they have updated that thing, man. And also they have actually switched their engine that they are using, what? and so many maps they're going to be remastered into something. They're actually remaking it into something new. I've saw some.
This was Unreal 3, I believe.
No. They have their in-house engine. Actually, it's not Unreal or Unity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have the in-house engine.
It's probably not Unity.
Weren't they using for the first build was Unreal Engine 3, right?
Really? No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that fact.
So then they switched to an in-house engine, and now they're switching it again. Is that right, or is it?
It's an upgrade. It's an upgrade,
upgrade, maybe. In-house engine got an upgrade, like how War Thunder did theirs.
Exactly, because there are so many technologies available at our disposal, because there's ray tracing and all that. They actually they actually showed a couple of things like soft shadows and stuff like that, which I'm sure Achille will get deep into in about a moment, and it's mind-blowing.
This is news to me, actually, that aspect. For me, the news was that the whole part where the guy was talking about the developer of the Railjack experience. He was talking about the technical aspect of it, and he said, the physics of spaceship combat is really complex when you have to consider the fact that players in your ship needs to be, these players can also jump around in Warframe, because they can do crazy maneuvers, right? So doing all that within a space which is also now pitching and going and moving across the void of space, those physics calculations are incredibly difficult. And I believe if anyone has followed the development of Star Citizen, they will actually be very acutely aware of the hurdles that those developers are going through, just trying to give the kind of fidelity they want with that exact experience I just described, But so what these guys did was like, let's just fake it. So this entire ship, your railjack ship, does not move. Right? It's the only thing that's literally not moving, while the entire scene outside moves and pitches and yours.
Like an arcade. It's like an arcade. Like you see.
So if I go left and right, it's not literally they're just translating.
You're just controlling the entire universe, right?
So it's like
this entire scene. It's incredible.
Is it like the GTA? Is it like the way like GTA mini games? Like you interact around the world?
I'm not sure how those ones work, but this one, when he described it, I was just thinking, that is very clever. That is really really clever what he did.
That is very efficient.
If you don't have the resources to do all the complex physics calculations,
but when the scene. I mean, just hearing that idea, it sounds like a crazy idea, right?
But in games development, you realize how much of those crazy tacked on ideas just has been used to just put the game together, especially if you looked into like Nintendo games and stuff, like how a lot of Nintendo games have these collaborative titles, which is like Super Smash Brothers, for example. Let's take that. And each of those stages that you see will be made by like different small teams, like 3-man teams, right? And if you look at the earlier games, right, you'll see that the efficiency of one map is different, like the graphical efficiency, as in the frame rates, right, is different in certain maps, just because the guy who was making it was just not as efficient when he was modeling the buildings and stuff and putting it together. Whereas some people might have like clipped areas if you can just move a little bit out of the map by using some tricky maneuvers. You can see exactly how they've like tacked it on, and it's like whatever goes, so long as the scene as it's meant to be played is displayed in whatever final output that the sketch or concept artist had shown for it, right? It all works. So in the background there might be just some crazy standalone stuff just left behind by the 3D artist, just because they couldn't be bothered to remove it.
So you're talking shit about Mario 64.
And
that game was ambitious.
And various other games. I mean, just any other game, you just realize, like for example, Resident Evil's early games, where they show the conversation between individuals in the radio, like I don't know if you can find this footage, but it's literally, you'd think it was all 2D or something, right? But it's actually
3D models,
yeah, the 3D models are behind that UI pane doing all the animation. They're literally standing in an empty void with one 2D pane which shows the texture of a radio. So stuff like that, just it's really interesting how they put it together. And that's just how games development works, just make it work, just get the output.
It's true.
And you can't tell, like, unless this guy, he told you his secret, right? So you couldn't tell if you were just playing that railjack, that mode, that gameplay.
They're Canadians, what do you expect? They're so nice.
The guy literally was like, if you can cheat and make it look exactly as the end output, he's gonna do that because it's faster development.
But it was a bold move, right? Like, there are so many people like, oh, this is not original.
If he literally went with if he went with the whole physics system and all that, right? What he would enable that studio to do, however, is just expand that mode throughout into the game, right? Because he just nailed down all those physics. Why not just make the whole thing like space combat-y? It'll literally immediately it'll become Star Citizen, but Warframe Star Citizen, you know? Because you have that fidelity all of a sudden. But it's
you just don't pay. You just don't pledge like $100. Just get it for free, okay? There you go. Why the smug face? Come on.
Hey man, $100 is working for me.
It's working for you very well.
Somewhere in the studio, far away, and Chris Roberts is working away at one guy.
For just 8 years right now. Like it's gonna be
No, he's a great guy. Chris Roberts is an amazing dude, and I really like the way he's actually doing his project. You know how open ended it is, and how aware you are exactly where that studio is in terms of that. Progress.
Is it better than Steve from Warframe?
Probably in the technical side.
Nah.
Technical side, probably. Yeah.
Are you sure? Because you know, for some reason, someone actually complained for Steve during a live stream that some of the female Warframe doesn't have enough buttocks, and in the next live stream, he actually
he put more ass on there.
Yeah, he put more ass, and he actually showcased. Yeah, they're Canadian. So what do you expect? They're nice.
Wow.
How about that?
Who boot that?
Wow. All right. Okay, anyway, enough of us. Warframe's upcoming updates are great, and we're really excited to try it out. I'm actually legitimately excited to try out the new update. I will definitely be I'll be updating it and trying it out, but I keep no promises. For me, Warframe, oddly enough, keeps making me go like, that's enough of that. I keep coming back to War Thunder, but I can't keep coming back to Warframe for some reason. I'm sorry.
Okay. You're not the chosen one. It's okay.
So Nintendo Switch Lite has been announced, and it's quite literally the handheld version of the Nintendo Switch. What they claim to be is it's lighter in the terms of its dimensions, but it has the exact same hardware capability, I believe. But none of the what the advert literally showed was he approaches a TV and say, this can't connect to that. So that's the difference, and he just walks away. He comes up with that and says, this can't connect to that.
I was actually expecting you to do that, but I'm kind of disappointed right now. Don't do it. No, don't.
I'm not gonna do it. But so what else do you guys know about the Switch Lite? What other information are you guys interested by?
I don't know.
Silence is deafening. So I'm just gonna go and say that my brother has recently brought the Switch experience to Sri Lanka, and I actually got to try it out. It's pretty great. It really is. But
is it worth it?
It is. It is, in my opinion. If you have, here's the thing, right? The thing that Switch is really great for is couch co-op games.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it outright. Super Smash Brothers was just tons of fun, and you have your Mario Kart, you have your Mario Parties. These are all games that are just meant to be enjoyed by friends or family that just come to your place, and you all have a great time. Then they also have some great titles like The Legend of Zelda games and all that. So I'm thinking it is worth it for the price you're paying for it. You don't get what you don't get that PS4 and Xbox One offer is the cutting edge graphical fidelity. You do not get that, right? But what you do get is just attention to the gameplay itself and just making that aspect fun. And they do it while keeping it childish as well, which is funny, So I'm like, if you're ever been like interested in getting a Switch, you might want to try the Lite because it'll be slightly cheaper, but you won't be able to connect to the TV and do that stuff. It'll be a handheld version of the Switch.
I think you'll be able to connect it with TV with a separate port, but I don't think so. It'll cover all
Not
the
according to
hardware.
the advertising guy who literally walks up to a TV and say it won't connect with that.
So that's I thought, yeah. So basically, the only concern that I have is of the hardware capabilities, but that's cool because it's $100 cheaper than the original Switch, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I think it's something like iPod. It's from what I read, it said that it's like iPod doesn't it isn't for iPhone users. So it's exactly what it said. It's something like iPod isn't for iPhone users. So it's like basically like saying this is like a Lite version.
But here's the thing, right? So you have the Lite version, but the Nintendo Switch was built ground up. Right? You just take it from the dock, and it's a handheld thing. And my brother was going on his trip to when we were going on a road trip, he was just playing his Switch. So what's the point of the Lite if someone has a Switch?
Exactly my question.
I think it's for a completely different demographic.
Yeah.
Because whoever has a Switch already would not need to buy the Lite. It's more like the guy who would buy the Switch Lite is just a person who just doesn't have an extra $100 to buy the
Bhupati?
Yeah, that's me.
So what about Bhupati? What if he doesn't have anything? What if the budget?
He'd have to
extra
go
Lite?
sell himself in Nugegoda and buy a Switch Lite.
Extra Lite?
Nah, I'm just gonna get the empty box,
Just the empty box. Even for that, Nintendo does have a solution with their cardboard Labo or something. Have you seen that? You know what I mean. They have a solution for everything. Don't worry. Your level of broke will not mean that you cannot contribute to the kingdom of Nintendo, okay? They have their cardboard lab. They have everything.
Oh man.
So yeah, exciting times, I guess, for Warframe fans and upcoming MMO. We really are having a bit of a drought in the MMO market, isn't it? We still haven't seen the next Warcrafty game. Still yet to get something that could be as epic as that. And then we have obviously Nintendo Switch sending out the Nintendo Switch Lite, just making it just that much easier to just experience the Switch, I guess. And that's it for the day. Anyone has anything else to say?
Yeah, can you please fire Bhupati?
You keep asking this. It's never gonna happen. He's more worth right now to the company. He's more worth it than you. You know that, right?
yeah, obviously.
Can you please fire me as soon as I fire you? It's like seeing Dwight and who's the other guy?
Jim.
Yeah. Oh, so you're telling me I'm Jim? Thank you very much.
No, you're Dwight. You're Dwight.
No, you're Dwight, man. I mean, he's constantly asking Michael to Michael.
If I'm Dwight,
Jim right now.
Hey. At least I had 3 girlfriends. There you go.
Oh my god.
Spoilers for The Office.
That's a low blow. You're fired.
Spoilers.
What the fuck is that?
Low blow. Low blow.
Spoilers for The Office. I'm sorry.
Oh god. All right. Anyway, so yeah. On that bombshell. Thank you. Can't close this because such clowns. Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been great. Always make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and tap that bell icon to get notified every week. Yeah.
We are not sure about the week at this point,
another reminder that Stany has said is yes, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, many other major podcast platforms. Check us out. Depending, you're probably listening to us from some of those platforms. So if you are, hello. And
also, if you're listening on that, make sure to check out our YouTube channel, which is kind of cool. You can just watch it everything visually.
And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, because not only will we have these podcasts in the future, we will have development updates as well as an exciting opportunity for our fans to just get involved in the beta of our upcoming game. It's a multiplayer game. You guys will definitely enjoy it. So yeah, subscribe.
Hey, free lunch on Bhupati, okay? He will actually get you a free lunch, like for everybody. Everybody participates.
Yeah, because
from his own pocket.
Yeah, right now we can actually make that promise because we know we only got 144 likes on our page.
Yeah, but it has to be Bhupati. You can't help him.
Bhupati will just cook up some rice, dude. 144 people isn't.
Oh, we need them, man. We need them.
So yeah, subscribe and stay tuned. See ya.
Bye bye.